Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is November the 27th. So interesting. A lot of text messages that got released. Some more depositions that were taken. That has been released. And it definitely shows that that Trump has been in it up to his eyeballs. He knows about what's going on. He ordered what was going on with Ukraine. There was a cover-up to try to cover up what happened with Ukraine. So those pieces are starting to flesh out. I mean, we all know the basic story, but it's sort of been interesting to kind of realize exactly how deep, how extensive, how convoluted that whole situation was. And honestly, it really does make you wonder where else that kind of behavior has been going on and what else has been going on behind the scene. I think, in some ways, Trump just really feels that he should just be able to bully his way in to situations that that are to his liking. So that's interesting. Lev Parnas is talking, and so he keeps saying things that don't look so good for Devin Nunes, and that's a good thing, right? I mean, I'm sorry, that's a good thing. If you're going to perpetuate lies, then you know what? Sometimes it's really painful when the truth comes out to confront those lies. So there's that going on, and of course, First Lady Melania was booed yesterday at an Opiate for Youth, I guess, conference, or she was giving some sort of a speech. Yeah, and so you know what? This is the thing about the Trumps, right? Is they are all flash, no substance. So she's wanting everybody to be best, and she doesn't want anybody to take opioids, but nothing in her husband's administration indicates that they're actually doing anything to try to get a harness on the opioid crisis. So it's like, she can't be expected to be thrilled when, people aren't going to be so happy to see her, because she represents exactly the fact that nothing's getting done. So I guess that's sad for her. But, All right, so today I want to take a look at Devin Nunes. And I want to take a look at some of the latest revelations that have come out and how that's exactly sitting with the White House, with the Republicans. And the thing is this is not news to the Republicans. They knew. They were in those hearings. They were sitting in those depositions. So they knew how convincing the sort of testimony was, if you will, but yet they still continue with this narrative about how everything was perfect and nothing was wrong. And that, of course, is because, Trump's ego, literally, honestly, even if it would save his own skin, his ego won't allow him to say, that maybe he was wrong or incorrect or it wasn't totally perfect. So, this is a guy who really, truly, just loves to self-destruct. I got some comments yesterday. I just want to share this. I got some comments yesterday, and thank you so much for all of the congratulations messages. I just spent the day being overwhelmed with joy. So thank you. But I got a couple of messages from people who said that they actually felt that Bloomberg's place, the role he plays in this, could very well be simply because he is the one with the resources to actually flood the market with negative ads about Trump, to just continually get under Trump's skin and to, it's going to be such a flood of advertising. I mean, millions and millions and millions of dollars he's spending on this campaign. So it's going to probably go everywhere. And that is a really, really valid point. I never thought about it. But it actually makes perfect sense that his role in the grand scheme of things is simply to create resistance to Trump, to get under Trump's skin. And so that's awesome. Let's hope that that's actually the reality of it, okay? All right. So come on down. We're going to take a look first at Devin Nunes, and it's possible that one may sort of almost lead into the other. I'm not sure. But I do want to just check in on how things are going at the White House now that more and more information is coming out. Come on down. Okay, so one more quick shuffle. And let's see what's going on in Devin Nunes' world. Tell me about Devin Nunes. Tell me about Devin Nunes. Tell me about Devin Nunes. So, this is the thing with him. He is sort of another one who is all flash, no substance. So he's busy behind the scenes, working away and doing what he does. And it's in the shadows, and it's about, dark money. It is about things that are going on, frankly, that should not be going on. And it is not just sort of restricted to the United States, if you will. He absolutely is involved with the whole Ukraine situation. He doesn't have a problem, apparently, just putting himself out there for the world to see, even though if what he's saying doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense and can be easily disproven. So this is the thing, right? His ambitions lie in another direction. He fancies himself a Fox News, headliner. That's his goal. That's where he's going. It could involve other sort of tangents to that, but he's really kind of almost ready to wrap up the whole government type job. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But there's very little caution in him. There's very little that sort of restrains him or pulls him back. It's almost as if that instinct that the rest of the world has to not touch fire, he somehow doesn't have that. And so he keeps putting himself in fire, in hot water, right? And yeah, he loves to talk. He loves to hear himself talk. He, somewhere along the way, he had a choice to make. And he decided that choice was firmly behind Trump and Trump's agenda. And he sees himself as that scrappy little fighter who will do whatever it takes to protect Trump and, to put Trump in the best possible light. And frankly, that's how Trump sees him, right? He sees him as that person who will go to almost any length to be loyal to him and to praise him. And so from Trump's perspective, he is a wonderful, wonderful little soldier. He sees him, Trump does, as, literally a mercenary, somebody who will do whatever it takes, pay whatever price, and take from it what they want to accomplish Trump's goals. And so in that regard, you've got, you know, a good fit there, frankly, from the two of them, right? He is going to be, I think, a little surprised when he goes back to his district, or as he's probably there now for the Thanksgiving holidays. But he's almost going to get the message that, you know what, you could be a little bit more temperate. You could maybe not jump in with both feet and your mouth flapping. His constituents are kind of getting to a point where they're starting to get a little bit embarrassed by his behavior and his theatrics. If I remember correctly, he did not win in 2018 by a huge margin. So, you know, he's already in an area that maybe isn't quite so enamored with him anymore. And more and more, you're going to find people are just sort of not buying what he's selling. So ultimately, he is destined to walk away disappointed. There's going to be like a wall put up between him and the people who vote for him. And they're sort of going to be putting up that wall, literally almost to protect themselves from him, as if to say, you know, you're on the outside of what we on the inside think, believe, and feel. And I'm not saying that there aren't people out there who, in his district and frankly everywhere else, who, you know, just love what's going on, and they think, you know, Trump is, you know, just being horrendously tortured, and, you know, there is no end to the punishment that he is being imposed upon him. There are those. But I think more and more you're getting that energy that people are kind of getting a little sick and tired of the silliness and the things that just cannot even be, you know, they're so illogical, they make no sense. And, you know, people after a while really get tired of being made to feel as if they're that malleable that they'll just believe whatever comes out of his mouth. And so he is going to experience some pushback from his own people, his own constituents. But that's not going to stop him, boy, oh boy. He is just going to keep on serving the king. He really is. I mean, that's just where he's at. And I don't know how much of his own butt is kind of in a sling, but definitely there are some goings on that really, you know, it wouldn't look so good for him, frankly, if they were exposed. And so he's not going to veer off of the course he is on, because ultimately, I think he feels that even if he goes down in the next election, that really, really is okay, because his plans, his desires are elsewhere, right? He wants to become that personality, that, you know, respected guy on television who's, you know, making everything clear for people. As I say that with tongue in cheek. So he's going to carry on this path. And he's sort of failing to recognize that, and maybe that's just because ultimately he wasn't a very good lawyer when he was a lawyer or when he got his law degree, because I'm sure he has one, that he doesn't understand that, you know what, you're actually putting yourself at significant risk. Never mind the political risk, because it almost feels as long as Trump is in office, he cares about it, but as soon as Trump isn't in office, he doesn't care about it anymore. But it's not only political risk, it is legal risk. He just doesn't seem to understand the jeopardy he is in, but yet we're going to discover that he is actually in some significant jeopardy because of behaviors that were going on overseas. You know, things that he was promoting, ideas that he was pushing or lobbying for. And definitely his behavior overseas is actually more and more of it is going to come out. And I don't think it's going to sit so well with him. Maybe at that point he'll figure out that, you know what, things are really blowing up around me and I really don't have as much control over them. But all it will take is Donald Trump saying, heel dog. Done. He'll be right back in line. It's just quite remarkable. They just feed each other in the delusion department, and they make a good team because in some ways they don't have a bottom. Like, they don't. They'll do whatever it takes to get what they, perceive as the win of the end game or the goal. And, in some ways, it's almost as if he has repeated this often enough that he's actually starting to believe that it's possible or possibly even probable. So, yeah. Things aren't going to go well for him. He's going to be in trouble. But I think in some ways, most importantly, he is going to experience some pushback from his constituents. And that's not going to make him change his behavior. But again, it is just another one of those, not being able to sort of accurately read the writing on the wall. He stays in his bubble and he just basically, he does what he's told. I mean, that honestly is sort of the bottom line with him. He just does what he's been told to do. Okay, so let's shift energies. I want to take a look at the White House and see what's going on there. I mean, the last couple of days for a week that was sort of supposed to be a little bit more laid back, definitely there continues to be sort of a fire hose of information coming out, and people are paying enough attention that they're paying attention. And so, I wonder kind of how things are going in there. So let's take a look at the White House strategy. Trump, come on down. So, White House Trump, current situation. White House Trump, current situation. White House Trump, current situation. Okay. So, the White House is trying very hard to grapple with grapple with the impeachment, grapple with the information that's coming out on Ukraine and the funds that were held up and what was going on around that. And it's really straining them because they don't have any strategy besides deny and stall. That's it. That's what they've got to work with. And, as more and more information comes out, they have less and less that they can argue and fight with, because they no sooner trot out some excuse or reason that the next day, if they're lucky, they get 24 hours, it's discredited. And the only people who don't understand that it's been discredited are the people in the bubble. And frankly, that is who they are playing to. That is their audience, and Trump is their audience. That's it. So, there is not a lot of hope at this point that they are going to be able to salvage this in any real way. What there is a strategy to just keep on stalling and denying. And that's their game. That's what they have. Those are the balls that they're able to juggle. They really don't have anything more than that. So there is not, there is not a sense of calm. There is not reasoned behavior going on back in that White House. The secrets are coming out fast and furious. And this is the problem, right? Is Trump is really, and a few people within the inner circle like Pompeo and Mulvaney and Barr, those are really the only ones who have almost, I want to say, any clarity. And the other people are just in a perpetual state of secrets coming out and having to react, and secrets coming out and having to react. And Trump saying something and having to try to massage it so it doesn't seem so harsh or so crazy or so outlandish. So the people in the White House are very, very busy trying to, put lipstick on a pig. There isn't a way really for them to make this better. Everything that comes out, every news story is like another, oh my God. And because Trump is keeping so much stuff close to his chest, in part because he can't remember anymore what the story is and what the truth is, people are just continually being caught off guard with him. He, of course, is feeling more and more restricted. He is feeling more and more as if he can't see his way clear. And I also want to say he really actually took quite a bit of exception to the fact that Melania got booed, because he actually feels as if, she is sort of one of his best toys. And the fact that even she got real significant pushback concerns him, and it angers him. How dare you not, bow down to the royalty of the Trumps. But it also shook her up, I gotta say, and she is none too pleased. She is sort of like, I am not going to keep on being humiliated because of you and your antics. She doesn't have any wiggle room at this point. But, at some point she'll make her move. But as long as they're in the White House, I don't believe it will be then. But as for Trump, he's getting rocked around a little bit. He's, nobody can control it for him, right? And the reason they can't massage it and control it and spin it anymore is because he keeps dropping these bombs on them. And Trump, because this is the thing, right? He doesn't understand how government works. And so when he says, I don't even know these people, why are they talking about me? He's actually right. He doesn't know them. The part of the sentence that he's missing is, I didn't even know they were there. I didn't even know they had a job. You mean that's what they actually do in my White House? Like, he's so oblivious to the inner workings that he really in his head thinks, oh, okay, so I told this guy to do it and he's going to do it, okay? And if somebody is blocking his path, all right, well, we're just going to move stuff around. We're going to take the job away from the guy who's kicking up resistance, and we're going to give it to a political appointee who will just do as they're told. And in Trump's world, because honestly, he was used to functioning in a really rather small environment, right? And so in Trump's world, he doesn't understand that for every person he sees or knows of or interacts with, there are 100 or 200 others who are aware and privy to what is going on. So he just thinks if he covers sort of those top bases, he's golden. And geez, he's just so not golden. He's going to continue to push ahead because that's all he knows how to do. And here is the fool doing his thing, carrying on. He's just, honestly, at this point, his emotions are overwrought. And even if he wasn't already sort of unstable and showing signs of being not only mentally but physically unstable, his emotions are so overwrought that they're just getting to a place where they're not really controllable. He's getting more and more aggressive. He's talking to hear himself talk. And there's very little concern about how that is received or what that looks like. So continue to expect volatility from him. He's not in a real concrete way understanding that, the walls are closing in and he doesn't have quite as much wiggle room because, again, he has lived in an environment really his whole life where, if he stamped his feet long enough or screamed hard enough, his perception was that he got his way, frankly, even if he didn't get his way. Okay, so expect more tweets, right? Expect more outlandish statements. Thanksgiving in the Trump family looks like it's going to be a wee little bit tense. I see some scrapping and some infighting kind of going on around the dinner table, if you will. And I guess that's what happens when you build a life on sandcastles. And the tide is coming in. There's, a little bit of panic about what's going to happen there. And that seems to be what they're experiencing. So, once again, thank you so very much. Your support is just amazing to me. And I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. So, if you are American, enjoy Thanksgiving. I will be here tomorrow and Friday as near as I can figure to put out my daily reading. And maybe somewhere between, turkey and Black Friday shopping. If you're looking for a break, come on over and take a look at what got released in the morning. So take care, be well. We'll see you soon. Bye.